welcome back to my channel. It's Ashley here, and if you are new, hey girl, hey. So today I'm going to show you guys how to make this super cute terrarium. It is so easy to do. I did this like last year, but I never put it on my channel, so I'm going to share that with you guys today. So let's go ahead and get started. The materials you're going to need for this project is a glass bowl, and that can be any shape and size. You're also going to need potty mix, sand, charcoal, of course your moss, and either nuggets or pebbles. And you can also use any other type of plants that you want to include in your terrarium. I'm going to be creating a concrete base for my terrarium, so I'm going to be using a paint stick, some gloves, and also a respirator mask to do this. And the first thing I'm going to do, of course, is mix up my concrete. It's super easy to mix concrete. I'm using the fast setting concrete mix, and you just scoop out the amount of concrete that you need, and then you add water to that, and then you just start to stir it. And you want the consistency to be kind of like oatmeal. You don't want it too runny, and you don't want it too thick. The next thing I'm going to do is oil up the bowl that I'm going to be using to shape my base. And I'm just basically going to be adding this to the sides, just making sure I cover the bowl really well. And then after that, I'm going to add the concrete inside. So as I start to pour and continue to add this in the bowl, you're gonna see that the concrete is gonna start to kind of level itself out. And you can also help it by just smoothing your hand across it. And the reason why I added the oil is because when this dries, it's just gonna be so much easier for this concrete to pop right out of this plastic bowl. Now I'm gonna add my glass bowl, and I'm gonna press down, making sure that the concrete starts to mold itself to the bottom. So if you over poured like me, this can get a little messy. So you're gonna wanna have like plastic or something underneath this. And now what I'm gonna do is I'm just adding something heavy, so I'm using these golf balls, and I'm just gonna make sure that I center my bowl all the way around. Now I'm just gonna clean the cement off the plastic bowl, and I'm just spraying it with some water, and then I'm going to wipe around the top edge to remove any more of the concrete, and then I am going to let this set overnight. So now I'm going to remove the bottom bowl since it is nice and dry, and as you can see, this is going to literally pop right out very smoothly because of that oil. So after I removed the bottom part, now I have my base, and I'm just going to clean up around the base a little bit, and I'm going to be using a 220 grit sandpaper to do that, and I'm just going to lightly start to sand around the top of my concrete just to smooth it out so that it'll look more flush to my glass. Next, I'm going to clean my glass to get it prepped for adding the terrarium all together. So I'm first going to just take some Windex, clean the inside, and then I'm also definitely going to clean the outside to make sure I remove any dried concrete. And then I'm also going to be taking like this little razor, and if you have any areas that kind of seeped through, you could just take the razor and tap it, and that concrete will come off, and then wipe it clean. Now we get to the fun part, which is putting the whole terrarium together. So the first thing I'm gonna add is my sand, and the order that you put these things on doesn't really matter. And some of these items that I'm using, you don't even have to use. So the next thing that I'm going to do is add my white nuggets. Again, if you don't want to use white nuggets, you can use the river pebbles, you can use black pebbles, whatever fits your aesthetic you can use. So I'm just going to add those, and then I'm going to add my charcoal. So the charcoal is really going to act as a filter, and it's going to pull the toxins and bacteria from the soil and the water, and it's really going to deodorize your terrarium. And it's really good to use this stuff if you are using a terrarium that is going to be enclosed. After I add the charcoal, I'm now going to take my Spanish moss, and I'm going to add that as well. And Spanish moss can kind of be tough to pull apart, so you can use your scissors to help you, and then you're just going to layer that on top. Now I'm going to add my soil on top of the Spanish moss, and I'm going to make sure that I cover that nicely. And then after I have added my soil, I'm going to start to add my sheet moss. This is going to give that nice luscious green look, and you can add this moss all around your terrarium. And I also added this to the sides of the terrarium as well. So after I've added that sheet moss, I'm gonna now add my plants. So I said the sheet moss gives it a nice luscious green look, but it gives it like a dry look. So my plants are really gonna give it that luscious green look. And basically you're gonna do just how you would potting a plant. You're going to take it out and pull apart the roots a little bit and add it to the soil. You can add as many plants as you want on top of here. I'm just gonna add these 3 to give it a little bit more texture and some contrast. And that is basically it. That's all you do to create this terrarium. So after you've added your plants and you kind of cleaned it up a little bit, you added your moss in some more areas that you needed to add it, it is time to place this in your home and decorate it. So I absolutely love how this terrarium turned out. There's so many different layers to this. I'm so happy that I created the concrete base with this. That was so much fun, and I think it elevated this a little bit more. As you can see, creating a terrarium is very, very easy to do, and you can get this done in a day, minus if you're doing the concrete base. But if you like this video and this inspired you, make sure you give this video a big thumbs up. If you aren't subscribed to my channel, make sure you click on that subscribe button and you hit that notification bell so you'll always be up to date with my latest tutorials, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye!